Good evening and welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton, Geoffrey, and Adam Ross, as we are on most Tuesdays. We had some connection troubles, and here we are. Adam, welcome to the show. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. I'm real good. Now you look more tan than I did all year long. Then all of a sudden, I look like an Oompa Loompa.
I don't know what's up. You're looking a little grainy. We understand you had some connection troubles. That's why we're about 2 minutes late. So you, all these fine folks, 2 hours and 2 minutes and 47
Yeah,
seconds, I should say, not 2 hours.
I apologize.
Um, it's pretty good, man. How are things going? We had a crazy week. Obviously, our friends and family know what we were up to. All our followers too on social media. We went to Newfoundland this weekend, and what a great deal that was. First off, let's try and do things in chronological order. Let's go back to Ash Weekend Friday. You flew out. We had Tommy step in, and we had another great deal. It was cool to have Gail Hill put up his $2,000 again. We really tried to roll at the red carpet for Gail Hill, one of our longtime Wall of Famers and businessman in the area. Loves those Thunderstocks. Put up the $2,000 of his own cash for those guys. Dave Bailey won again. Great show. Good to have Tommy in the booth again. We got some comments about that. You took off early though, Adam. How was your trip? You got there a day earlier than I
Uh,
did. Tell us a bit about the experience.
it was awesome. It was awesome. Newfoundland, someplace that Angie has always wanted to go. In Cambridge, we've got an enormous population from Newfoundland here in town. In fact, I think you would have been there, Clinton. Our wedding reception was in the Newfoundland Hall in in Cambridge. Like there's just such a concentration of wonderful people, and Angie's worked with them all her life, so she's always wanted to go. Phenomenal town, such outgoing people, friendly people, welcoming people. It was just unreal. And Clinton, I warned you, right? I've never been there, but I warned you what it's like to travel with NASCAR out of the province when we go west or when we go east. The farther away you get from where we are, which is pretty much the core, uh, the more boisterous the welcome is. Like, how cool was it to see welcome race fan signs in all of the bars in town?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job of embracing it. You're right. I've been describing it to people as almost like the Beatles came to town for some of the race fans there. You saw genuine excitement from young and old. Around here, the other way I was describing it too is, I come up in radio, TV, film through school that way. And in this market in Southern Ontario, it's so saturated with radio stations. So there were lots of opportunities, but there was hard for one to really stand out and take the lead. Where same thing with racetracks around here. There's so many racetracks and so many race fans, and we take for granted how cool Flamborough is or how cool Sunset is or Delaware because there's just so many of them, and we go to the one we go to. But when there's only one racetrack, and then the big dogs that you watch on TSN come to town, it was great. I thought you're right though. The welcome was great. Even when we went to restaurants, when you told them you were there with NASCAR, you got a bit extra service or a bit extra welcome. I thought. Um, it was great. Even Mike James, the promoter, was just a really cool cat. Has a great time promoting and does it the right way. I thought the Down East band they had, the country band with the fiddle and all to kick off the day on Saturday was just it's where the series needs to be, and we need to make more of these things destination type races.
Yes, you nailed it. They should be events, and this really was awesome experience. Can't wait to do it again. It's a 3-year deal, so as long as I don't get myself fired in the next 12 months, we'll get to do it again next year.
No, I think there were some great points before we get into too much of the clips and the technical end of it. But making it a destination, that's one thing we're trying to focus on from the Ush Weekend Dirt Race coming up is, a lot of these drivers can drive home within an hour, hour and a half to their house. So we have to figure out a way to make them come out and camp and realize, like, you're not going to want to go home here. You want to be, this is going to be a destination race, even though it's close to home. And we've got some great events there. And you're right, Adam, my notebook came home very full of things that I took away that Mike James and they were doing down there. Excuse me. So let's back it up to you already got there daily. You got to go out and experience some nightlife on Friday. And then when we got there Saturday, let's first talk about the first thing we saw when we drove up was the lineup. They were lined up miles out there. Like literally, where have you seen a lineup that long to get into a race? They waited
With
a long time to get in. They sold it out.
without exaggeration, the lineup was a kilometer long, right? Like,
Easily.
and nobody was
It zigged and it
upset.
zagged.
Yeah, yeah. And so you look at things like that line. The line at the concession at times was equally as long. There's a lot of areas where they could probably do a little bit better, but at the same time, nobody was upset. Everyone was just happy to be there. It was like you think about here, and maybe not. You sort of picture people complaining that stuff doesn't go faster. There, it was just happy.
I just sent Spencer a picture of the lineup, so if we can get that up, check it out. But yeah, and the track was unique, kind of like you go down the front straightaway, turn left up the hill, up the hill, then over the hump on the back straightaway, down a hill into turn 3 and 4. I thought it was great. I thought the character of the track was amazing. And so there's a look at the lineup, Adam. So there's the gate, and they were lined up a long way back there to pay their money to get into this event.
And even that picture there, which isn't like super high resolution, look at the clarity of the pine trees in the far background. Like the air is crystal clear there. Just a fantastic experience.
And then Saturday, you and I ended up. I don't think we went out for dinner. We ate separately. Met up after dinner. Went out down for some nightlife. Had a good time. Just got out. And the one thing about it, I've heard people describe it as Bourbon Street. I've never been to New Orleans, so I can't explain that. I grew up in Southern Ontario. The best way I could describe it would be a great combination of a Hess Village and a Port Dalhousie, if you know where those were back in the day. An area where they just no vehicle traffic, all foot traffic, and it's just the party district. And you and I sat outside, and I was explaining this to my dad. We basically held court out on the street. We just sat on a picnic table against one of the fences, and everybody from the tour was walking by, and we were just chatting it up. And then, just having a good time, just watching all the sights go by. It was awesome.
It's almost like Clifton Hill, but without the cheesy tourist attractions.
Yeah,
right? Like just
exactly.
people up and down all night.
But no matter what, the other thing, it was all ages were in there from not kids after dark. Obviously, it was an adult situation because it's the bar district. But from just people just coming of age, right up to the older folks. There was something for everybody there. If you're looking for a pub and some live music, they had that. Next, it could be a dance club across the street for the youngsters, which we saw. Then we were in a club that had a band and a DJ and just a great atmosphere. So great time. And when we were talking about on the stream with Mike James, the promoter, I really believe this. A lot of people take a wait and see attitude, and everybody who saw what we saw, and when the gospel gets spread back from everybody who came home, I think he's going to have even a harder time keeping people out of that place next year.
When we go back next year, Clinton, I expect the parking lot off the backstretch will be full of hospitality tents to go with the hospitality tents that were in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
They're going to need more capacity.
What a great marketing plan by the provincial government to get behind NASCAR and the sport. And it was part of the Come Home 2022 festival and celebration where, Newfoundlanders are spread out all over the world. So this is the festival time of year when everybody should come back home and experience what Newfoundland has to offer. And what a great deal it is.
And we're being so careful to say Newfoundlander. I spoke with people in line. They said, call us Newfies. So we don't care what you call us by.
Right? Well, when I got there Saturday morning, because we left with no sleep, right? I left right from Mosh Weekend, went to mom's, had a shower and a couple tacos, went to the airport at 3, slept in the car till about 4:30, and then went into security. Basically slept an hour on the plane, was up all night. Anyways, the first thing you said to me was, make sure you say it this way. So you gave me the pronunciation lesson the minute I walked in the door. It's give it, Adam. Since you got screeched in.
It's Newfoundland. They said, think of the word understand and how you pronounce that, but then think of new, fun, because it's all fun, land, Newfoundland. And it's little things. My biggest concern, Clinton, is not about being right, but it's about not offending your hosts and hostesses. So
it's also about not standing out. It's also not standing out as what I've learned to come from my time in the East Coast as a CFA, which is a come from away, which
Yeah.
basically says you're an out of towner with one word by pronouncing something way out of sorts. So, do we have any clips of the race? If we do, let's see what we got. Any action? Do we have something, Spencer? I think you said we had something. Here it is. Take it away, Adam. What do we want to take away from these pictures we're seeing for courtesy of Flow Racing?
Uh, from up here, you have a great vantage point of the racetrack. Picture yourself behind the wheel of one of these cars. Once you go into the turn, the corners are blind. And Brett Taylor, that was about 225 feet after the green flag. He made it down the front straightaway, 2/3 of the way. A situation where everyone had checked up, and man, oh man, he hit the wall hard on the
But you
inside.
see them kind of going up the hill, and then here you can see it's a little hump on the back straightaway. It settles down, then right down the hill into 4. I thought it was a unique situation there. All the hospitality tents on the outside of 3 and 4. The racing was great.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that, and I'm going to build on this theory for a long time, Clinton, because I'm almost tired of racetracks where they build you can run side by side lap after lap. Because you can't pass. It's hard to pass on a racetrack where you can run side by side all the time. Give me a track like this, which is but a lane and 3/4 wide. So you can run side by side. It takes some cooperation, but by and large, there's one predominantly fast groove. So as cars wear out, then you can make a pass. Or if you want to, give someone a gentle nudge, then you can make a pass. I'm all for that kind of bull ring style racing. Here's a great demonstration of a couple drivers racing side by side, and Andrew Ranger, who loves that outside groove, and Brandon Watson down on the bottom.
Oh, awesome driving here. I thought the whole event was wicked to see. Some crazy action. I think we're going to see LP Dumoulin get the back end of his car taken off here shortly, which was a crazy
That crash,
situation there too.
that was a breathtaking crash by LP Dumoulin, and he did it to himself. He was pretty disappointed. I talked to him after the race. He knew the wall was treacherous. Stay away from the wall. He clipped the wall, and it
Here
wasn't
it is.
cutting
Oh, no,
tires
sorry.
down. It was ripping the tires right off the bead. So once you do that, you've got no grip whatsoever, and you'll see the contact he made. This is Andrew Ranger blood.
Brandon Watson had a fairly good start to the day. Didn't quite get the finish he wanted, but was number one in practice. And I think it was good to see him out there, running good as a rookie. I think he's probably still going to get one or get really close this year. Some good hard racing there too, Adam. We saw many guys get crowded off of 4 many times.
Yeah, and like I say, I enjoyed it because you could really assert yourself and stay in a battle, but you were wise to let someone go and regroup. There's LP Dumoulin just creaming those. Thank goodness for those water barrels. They weren't
Well,
really
he
a
cut a
soft
tire
landing.
down. He
Yeah.
cut a tire down earlier in the back straightaway. Right, was kind of full speed out of control and tail slapped those barriers. And
And
tore
he
the
said to me,
here it
yeah,
is.
he
Look at
said,
on the left side.
oh, he said, Adam, he says, I just thought I could make a long, slow spin. He said, but once we got up into the marbles, he said there was just no keeping it off the wall. So
You see him frustration there.
to answer Derek Anderson, no, I have a full-time day job, and then I use some of my vacation days, and otherwise some real late nights and real early mornings.
Yeah, for me, my full-time job's Weekend Speedway. We get to do this on the off days. This is
Yeah.
really 13 days of the year for us. It wouldn't be a whole season, a whole full-time gig anyways.
No, for sure. And Stickers and Scuff asking why water in the barrels and not sand. There's a few reasons. For one, if sand came out of that barrel, it would be a nightmare to get off the racetrack. It'd be really slippery. At the end of an event, you can drain a water barrel a lot easier than you can drain sand out of a barrel. And a barrel full of sand is no different than a concrete wall. So it doesn't really soften the blow.
Agreed.
I've never known of barrels like that to be full of sand at a racetrack. Anytime I've experienced it, they've been full of water.
Yep, me too. To wrap up, things look great. Super impressed the way we were treated, the way the race came off. everything handled. And how about the fans that came back on Sunday, Adam? You had a sold out crowd Saturday that stood around in the rain for a long time waiting to hear what was going to happen. And by rights, that's the thing when you have an early scheduled race. The race was supposed to go around like 4 o'clock, green flag, right, originally. So when you have one of those, you do have a bit of time to wait out the rain. So they tried to wait it out a bit and eventually realized that we were going to have to come back Sunday. And what a great crowd came back Sunday to experience it. I was a little bit worried earlier in the day, but man, they really filled in by the time we went racing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did. The fans wanted it. They were rabid for it. And they showed up again. So thank goodness. But part of this is technology too, Clint, because the ticketing system that they use, he's able to send an email. By one push of a button, you can send an email to everyone who has a ticket, let them know exactly when the race is going to be Sunday, exactly when they should come back. So pretty slick setup.
Right on. All right. Yes, you should absolutely plan to go if you can. It's a sight to be had, guys. Moving on, Apc Delaware this weekend. They have a 2-day race, Friday and Saturday. Oscar Hot Rods, the Super Lates are down there. So Delaware classes, the APC, the Quick Super Stocks. Everybody's going to be there except us. We'll be at Oshweekend Friday, but we're looking forward to rolling the G-Force Caravan in there Saturday. What should we know about Delaware, Adam? And while you set that up, let me give the quick Quitwit trivia question. Actually, we'll hold that till we go to Oshweekend because it is an Oshweekend question.
Let's put Delaware off for about 5 minutes. Ray Morneau just got back to me, and he's going to be running the APC race. So we're going to have him on the program here shortly, and I want to talk to him because here is one of those situations where I can't remember who it was that said it to me like 20 years ago, but saying, almost everyone in racing races about a class above what they can really comfortably afford to do.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Ray Morneau when he tried to go APC racing and just didn't quite have the budget to do it. They've settled back into a schedule where they run Delaware Speedway on Friday nights. Fantastic competition, and I think they're right in their wheelhouse, Clinton, of what they're able to achieve. They've got some great partnership now going, but I just think I'm so happy for his success because he's found some place where he really belongs, and they can afford to run and be competitive, and hopefully they take another run at the APC series. But just for now, it's great to see him having the success that he is.
For sure. Just want to mention that. No problem.
Send Ray an email when you get a chance.
I'm going to send him an email. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second here.
Yeah, no problem.
So we have Dylan Westbrook coming on the program to talk about the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals coming up. Knights of Thunder is coming up at Humberstone as well. We're going to talk briefly about that. While I get Ray's settled in to get on the show here, Dylan Westbrook's going to be here in a little bit. Let's look at our Burger Barn video of the week. This was Abby Kiyoshi Sullivan, our new drone masters, I've been calling him. I shared a video on Facebook of him chasing them at Peterborough, the APC 8 models. On the way to Peterborough, we hooked him up with one of our quick reps, Dave Lloyd, to go check it out. And before we get into that, let's jump into our quick wit trivia. I'll throw it out there because we do want to give people a chance to answer the question. This week's quick wit trivia is Oshweekend Speedway Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Who holds the record for the fastest lap ever at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals? Who holds the record for the fastest lap ever at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals? That's your quick wit trivia for today. And now let's jump into our Burger Barn video of the week. This is Abby going up to a Canadian Tire store and doing a quick promo demo. Check this out. He flies through the store. It's unbelievable. So it has music, but of course we don't have rights to it. But just watch this, Adam. This is unbelievable. And the store's open right now, by the way. This is how precise his drone flying is. It's crazy. And And that was all one steady shot. Like there's no cuts, no interruptions, the whole thing. And Abby's available for corporate stuff if you need him, or anything like real estate or commercials. We definitely got to help get him some more business. So it should be cool.
Yeah, that was really, and I don't know if my mic is still working or if it's choppy. My internet is brutal. If you knew what I pay
Now we got you.
For services, there's no way it should ever be down. We got asked earlier. Matt Farnham said to pick a top 3 for the Sprint Car Nationals, and I don't know if I'm ready to do that just yet. I do think. I'm going to say I think there's going to be 2 turners in the top 3 of the Sprint Car Nationals this week. Another question was if Scott Kruger was going to be able to make it. He is dealing with some border issues right now, and whether or not he will be able to cross the border. So talked to him a little bit earlier on today. What a shame it would be if he can't be back to defend that title, but hopefully he can get things sorted out that if he does miss this Sprint Car Nationals, he will be back later in the season for the next 2.
All right, I just sent Ray the link to that. Yeah, I think we'll set up the Nationals when we get here with Dylan Westbrook in just a moment. I can tell you from the Pinty side of things, for the Pinty 100 dirt race, we are talking to some more NASCAR stars today and hopefully have some announcements next week to go along with Stuart Friesen. We've got 2 other NASCAR stars that we're working on right now, and we'll be ready to put those together. I can tell you one of them is going to drive sprint cars both nights. That part has been 100% firmed up today. If we can find him a Pinty's ride, we'll announce it all at once. If we can't, then we'll just let you know who it's going to be, but let them start guessing. But it's exciting that this event is starting to take off. We're only 6 weeks away for the Pinty's 100, which I realized as I was trying to get sleep on the plane home from Newfoundland and thinking about good ideas. I was like, it's coming fast.
Yep. And I'll tell you, the Pinty series has never had such a premier I don't want to say a co-star because it's the Pinty's race, but Clinton, you as a promoter are introducing the fans, stock car fans that come out to 360 sprint car racing. I have
Well,
never seen an event. ACT maybe at St. Eustache is a pretty good show, so them alongside, but 360 sprint cars along with
I was
the
thinking
Pinty
we
series
saw
is going to
the
be
the super
dynamite.
lates. We saw the super lates at Jukasa.
Not
Stephen
with the
Petty.
Pinty series.
Nice guess. No, well, they were CASCAR then. When we did the Canada Day shootout.
That's CASCAR, buddy.
I just said that.
And
So yes, technically it's never been with
the
the Pinty series, but
there was nothing with the Canada Day shootout.
they had Tony Stewart and Dave McKnight had a car there, and they had Johnny Benson and
The
Tony
the
raced on
day
the Friday
before.
night. Okay,
That's the day before.
fair
That's
enough.
not the same night.
It was still a 2-day camping event. There were people there for the whole weekend. You're such a prima donna sometimes. Anyways, let's talk about. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I totally lost my train of thought
I don't
there.
know. Whatever you want.
So yeah, to have both of them on the same night, what that's going to do, that's going to smooth up the track. I mean, that's the reason we put them on there. Was originally we knew that if we put sprint cars out there and had a big sprint car race for 2 days, that track's going to be polished, smooth, and it won't be rutted up to tearing up the Pinty's cars. But it will be the Sprint Car Nationals. I don't want to talk too much about weather, but there's been questions about is there a rain date for this Friday? We have made the decision that if something happens with weather Friday, we're not planning on it, we're full steam ahead for Friday and planning on good weather. If by chance something did happen and we had to pull the plug on Friday's July 1st Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, the 16th running would move to the Monday for 10 grand, and the Tuesday would be 10 grand to win also for the deal. So we would have back-to-back 10 grand to win shows on the Monday, Tuesday, if something were to happen Friday. Just want to also announce about Friday's Sprint Car Nationals. We have a band coming up, so anybody camping out, we'll have a band in the pits Friday night after the races. So hang around and enjoy the holiday with us if you want. What else are we talking about? All right, we're waiting for 2 guests, Dylan Westbrook and Ray Morneau, come on the show.
Let's talk about Jordan Thomas.
Yeah, got hurt.
Yeah, burns burns to his legs. So we wish Jordan Thomas a speedy recovery. And, there's certain things that are pretty hard to avoid in this sport, Clinton, and fire is one of them. So we hope he makes a full and speedy recovery.
Well, before we jump into it, we just saw Dylan Westbrook. He's just about ready to jump on here with us. Stephen Petty is the right answer. Chris Steele with 13.308 in 2012 time trials at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Stephen Petty, you can email dave@quickquick.com and let him know your shirt size. And it was a one-lap time trial for Chris Steele, September 15th, 2012, 13.308. And if you know where to find it, it's not hard to find these questions. They're not hard. A bit of research and you can.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come. You know what we should do? Like guess your weight. 1 week we'll have guess your weight, and do something like that you can't look up on Google.
Fair enough.
That's brilliant.
But we want them to get the shirts ultimately. You know, we want you to get the shirts.
Yep.
I got a picture from Hunter Hertendi the other day who sent, "Hey man, we love the shirt and it looked good. It was a good looking shirt. You're gonna have to make a trivia question that I can guess so I can win a shirt." We still haven't got any of those. We do have new Fast Eddie shirts, but here's a guy who's been really fast. Not Fast Eddie, Fast Dylan. Dylan Westbrook's going to join us here. Bring him on as soon as we're ready to go, Spencer. Dylan's just working on some settings there. We'll bring him in and talk about the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals coming up this Friday at Oshwegan Speedway. But let's not forget, Dylan is also a recent winner at Eldora last weekend. I believe the first Canadian ever win a sprint car race that I heard. And also a recent driver in the NASCAR Truck Series, where he drove the number 3 at Knoxville. D-Dubs, how's it going, buddy? Can you hear me, Dylan? Hello? We're close. Dylan?
We
Hello?
can see him.
There we go.
Hey,
Can
man.
you hear me now?
What's going on? Nice.
Just got done cutting some grass.
So there you go. See, it's never people don't see that. They don't realize the glamorous race car driving lifestyle is not always glamorous.
Yeah, you got to rush home to cut your grass before you got to do it 4 times in a row.
So how does it sound to you, Eldora Speedway Sprint Car Feature winner, Dylan Westbrook?
That was pretty cool. I've been there 2 times before, ran second both times. So to finally get there and to get the win, that was pretty cool. And to do it how we did, that was even more exciting. I knew we were fast all night, but I wasn't expecting to win by that much.
Dylan, I'm sure you got a lot of people coming up to you and congratulating. What was the coolest response you got after winning Eldora?
Probably just like a bunch of the other competitors there just coming up, congratulating me. I know there was a bunch of guys from PA that were there that normally don't run with the NRA. So just them coming up saying congratulations, everything. It was just cool, especially there. It's just Eldora. It's somewhere different that like 360s don't normally, like they race there probably like twice a year, but that's about it. So just to win there with 360, not having a ton of experience there, was just really cool.
So over the course of just a couple of weeks, you win a 360 sprint car race at Eldora, and you make your stock car racing debut in a NASCAR truck at Knoxville. What was that whole experience like, Dylan?
It was really just meeting the team, because we raced at Knoxville that weekend. Went back to like our shop in Indy, flew out of there, went and got fitted and everything for the seat, met the team, kind of just made sure everything was good for the truck. Then we ended up flying back, and then just for a few days, then we had to go back down the race. But just to meet the whole team, just see how like NASCAR does it, it was really cool. Like Jordan Harrison racing, they're just a great team. Just real humble and everything. Just first time doing it and everything, it was awesome. Just all the crew and everything, they were real welcoming. So that was really cool. And then just doing it. It's never really expected to do anything like that. So it was awesome. Completely different from a sprint car, though. That's like everything you do in a sprint car, pretty much forget about it and restart all over for a dirt truck or for a NASCAR truck on dirt.
But has there been any more talk of doing anything else, Dylan? Like, or possibly something with the Pinty's 100 coming up?
Possibly maybe do another race for them. They kind of mentioned there's a couple other openings, so see what we can do there. And then I don't know. I kind of figured if I did that on dirt, now I got a little bit of experience. Maybe someone will want to pick me up for the Pinty's race at Oshwegan. So I'm not 100% sure what our schedule looks like for that weekend, but maybe hopefully if it works out, maybe try to get a ride for that just because I got a little bit of experience now, better than never racing a car with fenders before like it was that weekend.
So talk about that a little bit, Dylan. So you've never raced in a vehicle that you sit on the left side of. You've never raced in a vehicle that you can't see your front tires. How long does it take to get used to that?
It was, I mean, I want to say I picked it up pretty quick, but it was completely different. Like never raced anything that heavy, never raced anything with fenders, never raced anything on the left side like that. It was just all around completely different. And then even with that, like had a spotter, so I had to talk to someone the whole time. Even had to do like a little bit of a pit stop, which not like full NASCAR where you got to pull in, watch your speed, and they do it and you take off. Like we pulled in, I think you got a couple minutes to do it, but even still stuff like that, it was real different. So it was definitely a big learning experience for sure because everything you did, it was different.
Dylan, let's talk about the upcoming Canadian Sprint Car Nationals at Oshwegan. The winningest driver in 360s there on regular competition have not been able to knock down the Nationals yet. I know Daryl Turford, it's a huge race that you guys circled on your calendar. What would it mean to win the Nationals? And if you have you guys put any extra prep into making sure you guys run solid on Friday?
Yeah, it'd be huge to win that. That's kind of one of the biggest races I want to win, just from being the hometown track and everything, just having a lot of success there. Like definitely one I want to win for sure. So like even today, like we always do, like I want to say top line maintenance of like everyone, which I think, but we have like pretty much had the whole front end taken apart, going through everything today. Had to like pretty much everything taken apart, just going through, just make sure we have no problems at all. Even though we kind of do that normally, but we might do it. All right, after 4 races, we're doing this. After 8 races, we're doing this. Where we just did it all this week just to make sure we have no problems at all. Just it's a real one on my bucket list. I want to win. I know with the whole team, just a big one that everyone wants to win. But yeah, just to win that, it'd be, I don't even know how to explain it. Just kind of the biggest race around home and everything. It's just really mean a lot to me to be able to finally get that one.
What's that for as many races as you've won at Oshwegan, Dylan? And this might be one of the dumbest questions I've ever asked. What's kept you from winning it before? Like, can you look back at something and say, if we could only do this? But what's the difference between, aside from competition, you've beaten the best of the best? What keeps you out of victory lane in that race?
It's just, yeah, we've always been good. Like even like heat races and like everything that night, like we've been good right up. Like even early on the feature, we always move up. Well, even at the end, like we always move up. We just always seem like we're just missing just that little bit to just keep on moving up. Like the first, I would say like half the race, we always seem like we move up and then we get to a certain point, and then the last, say like 10 laps, we just kind of ride there. We just seems like we're always just missing just a little bit near the end. So we've been trying some stuff this year, which has been working out really good for us, and feel really comfortable now, like kind of a little bit more than we had before. So hopefully with everything we've learned, it works out for us and we can finally, or at least I can finally capture the win for the Nationals.
Dylan, what are you hearing for car counts? You know, you might have your ear to ground better than us. I was asked today, I'm thinking about 45 cars based on the border situation and some of the interest we've had. We put out a release with 30 cars today, and a lot of the notables were still off that. You got any thoughts on how many cars we might see here Friday?
We were kind of talking about that today when we were out working on the car. It's hard to say. Like, we know, like all like the regulars that'll show up and that, but yeah, just from the people being from the States, some of them that don't want to get the vaccine to come down, it's just hard to say. Like, we went to a race at Outlaw Speedway in New York, and some of them were like, oh, okay. Like, they didn't really hear about it right then that race was going on, but we told them, like, oh, yeah, we'll come for sure. And then the next one you talk to, oh, like, they just don't agree with getting the shot, so they can't come down. It's just hard to say with who all wants to get the shot just to come down and who doesn't. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. If it wasn't for that, how it was years ago, you'd have just as many, but it's kind of the whole COVID thing just kind of still playing parts and roles on the car counts.
Yeah, and I think we can all be pretty thankful that Glenn has chosen to still run this event. I mean, over the years, it was contingent upon a lot of big stars coming up from the States, but I think we have enough stars now, homegrown talent, that you can run this big event. But we would still like to see as many people as can come up across the border and compete.
Yeah, like, I'm sure it's always going to be a good race. Like, just like every Friday night, there's always a good show to put on. But even now, just with it paying more money, you're going to have more people coming to it, even if it's not as much as other years, which I hope it is. But it's still going to be a great race like normal. Fans are still going to get what they paid for. And, yeah, it's still going to be just the same as the other nationals, but hopefully it'll probably just be just good.
Right on, Dylan. We won't keep you. Good luck this Friday as you go for your first ever Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Been riding high lately, and we wish you the best.
Thank you. See you guys Friday.
All right.
Yeah, see you, man.
D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook, as we mentioned, going to try and knock down his first ever Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. He's got to be the favorite going in, Adam. At this point in time, there was a time when you think, okay, yeah, well, Dylan's the best Canadian guy we got, but I think he's the ultimate favorite. I think everybody's looking at knocking him down. There was talk of Parker Price Miller coming in, but he couldn't get out of his treatment. That was scheduled for Friday. So there's talk about possibly Sam Haferteep getting in that car. But I still think Dylan has got the right setup and is ready to get it done once and for all at Ush Weekend. So we wish him the best there. Before we talk in too much about Humberstone, let's just address something that keeps coming up, Adam, and that's the flag issue at Ush Weekend. I know you and I had discussed it over the weekend. I don't even know how to touch it. It's a touchy subject. You came up with a good statement, and I wouldn't say this is the official statement, but this is basically the feeling. Weekend Speedway has always been an inclusive and non-political venue. In the 30 months the Speedway was dormant, facts came to light that placed an understandable wedge between Canada's Indigenous community and the Canadian government. The Speedway management feels the best way to remain neutral and inclusive is to choose to remove any portions of their events that could be construed as showing bias towards anybody. We appreciate the understanding of the great fans and competitors, and our race nights, our focus is a celebration of everyone in attendance as equals, not really trying to center things out. And, that's just basically it. Is we're trying to leave all the political unrest at home and be a place where we can go and be a great racing family, no matter where you're from or what you look like or where you're at. So that's basically the gist of the matter. So we've kind of gone away from the anthems as well. And that, Adam, this is a talk that you and I have had about sporting events everywhere in the world. I mean, I've been in favor of dropping prayers and anthems at certain events for many years. It's not something we want to delve in too much, because I don't think you and I are really the right people to talk about it in that situation. But we understand where we are, and that's the best statement we can give is just with some of the lights that came out, we're trying not to drive a wedge between anyone.
Over the COVID period, the reason there was never conversation about Weekend Speedway opening was out of respect for the Weekend community. The well-being of the people of Six Nations was number one, first and foremost. Number two was the safety and health of the competitors and the fans. But number one has always been the community. And I think that we are fortunate over the course of time. There has been a lot of civil unrest in and around Weekend, Caledonia, and the management has always done a fantastic job of leaving it well outside the gates of Weekend Speedway.
Well, let's look at it from another standpoint, Adam, and I think you're absolutely right in those statement you just made. But let's look at it. Ohsweken is part of the Six Nations sovereign territory unto itself. It's not technically Canada. It's the simple way of us. Yes, you've seen the flags in the past, but that's because that was respect for our neighbors. The same way Merrittville runs an American flag, and Humberstone runs an American flag, and Ransville runs a Canadian flag. It's a salute to our neighbors. So at this point in time, we're going to salute our neighbors with some great racing flags. We want everybody to come in and be welcome and as be inclusive as we can. And I've often said it, we have, one race at the Speedway, and it starts with the green and ends with the checkered, and that's the way we need to keep it. So, let's all be great family.
I can understand. I can understand people wanting to see the flag and wanting to hear the anthem. I just hope that they can understand that their desire for that is paralleled, maybe more so, the desire of people to not have to make a political statement either way. So
there were some folks in the community who were hurt by the government, and it's an insult to them to fly that flag on that lands, and we understand that. We understand both sides of everything. So it's a tough spot to be in. But there are still going to be aspects of it. So, for example, we are still hosting the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals on Friday. It is Canada Day. You will see fireworks as a celebration of everything going on. And then the other thing we'll be doing is we will also be, we'll have the smoke dancers there. So we're going to celebrate all of our neighbors and the hometown occasionally throughout the year at some of the big events. But weekly, I think we're going to start with the Derek Miller anthem of racing, and let's get at it. So, when you hear the party tunes and the guitar cranks up from our buddy Derek, you know it's time to go racing. So that's where we're at. Let's touch on the Knights of Thunder event coming up Thursday. It's the first event of the racing weekend for us. We are in a triple header weekend this weekend. We will be live Thursday from Humberstone. We'll be live Friday for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, including 358 modifieds in the Action Sprint Tour. And then we'll be live at Delaware on Saturday. Humberstone has a full card of action, full weekend of camping, free camping. Make sure you check that out. Go to Humberstone Speedway's website and all their social, and you get everything you need to know about Humberstone's event coming up. What's so funny, Adam? Now he's muted. Well, let's talk to Ray Morneau. Ray, welcome to the program. Can you hear me, buddy?
You guys got me?
I got you. Adam, are you there?
Yeah, I thought so. Am I not coming through?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay.
Ray, welcome to the program. Big weekend at Delaware coming up.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, number one. But yeah, like you said, it's a big weekend coming up. We definitely got our work cut out for us, but we're up for the challenge.
Ray, and that was the reason for wanting to have you on, is that I don't want to say you scaled back your operation this year. You just refocused your racing towards Delaware Speedway, where there is wicked competition every Friday night. And I want to say it's paid off. You've been to Victory Lane a couple of times. Talk about how good it feels to find that success, have good partners on the race team, and have things moving in the right direction.
Oh, it's great. Like you said, we did try and do the APC series, and we thought with the COVID schedule, with having 5 races, we could do it decently well, and that was not the case. Anything that could break broke. I got carbon monoxide poisoning in the one race, so it was a bad deal overall. But yeah, like you said, we focused on the Delaware program. The guys at McCall Racing Enterprises, we went to them this year and this winter. And just kind of went over what we could do to make our car a little bit quicker. And they pointed us in the right direction. And we've, like you said, we've been on point for most of the year here. We have a second, 2 wins, and an 8th. We're looking good right now. Hopefully we can just carry that out the rest of the year.
Ray, as someone who's been around Delaware quite a bit, recent ownership changes last season, a couple new partners come in, new paving, new improvements. What's that doing for you as a competitor there at the Speedway week in and week out?
It's given us options now. JR Excavating, they did the paving and they did an incredible job. the outside is great now. It's super smooth, and leaving the concrete on the bottom, it's a little bit rougher. So it gives you that option to go to the top when something stacks up. So it gives, like I said, it gives you options. And as a race car driver, that's all you want, right? You want to have that option to be able to jump to the outside when someone makes a mistake and be able to have it pay off.
Now, Ray, what we find is sometimes when the APC series comes to a local track, and I'm going to pick on Flamborough Speedway, the drivers we often see racing in the top 3 or top 5 don't compete with the APC. What's the difference in your case? Why are you wanting to get out there and get after it and race against these guys?
We practiced there at the beginning of the year, the opening practice when you guys had the media day, and it was APC's first practice, and we just wanted to get out on the track. We wanted to be the first person on the track, and we were in APC trim, and we were quick. So we were thinking about doing it throughout the year here, and then just the way the years went, we've had speed every night, and we just we'd like to see what we could do against the big boys when they do come. We went and tested last night, and I'm very happy with our speed. There's a couple other cars there, and we were really close to them, and we were on pretty old tires. So I'm very happy. Can't wait to get some stickers on it and see what we can do.
What's the key to getting a win against the APC guys, Ray? Is it a good time trial to start your night? Is it being able to close the race at the end? Is it keeping your tires under you? What's going to be the key to the race for you to come in and beat these guys that are coming into your place?
Well, I haven't won yet, so I can't say what it is, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be a good time trial. Unfortunately, not running the whole series. The best we can start is 10th, so that'll put us back a little bit, but hopefully we can qualify in the top 10. That'll be number 1 on our list, and then like you said, just keep the tires under it and pick them off one by one. We like I said, we have a very good car, I think. But we'll see Saturday when everybody shows up.
What do you set out as a goal for this weekend, Ray?
For myself, I'd like to be top 10. I'd be happy with, and then a top 5 would be a really good night back in the campground.
Right on, Ray. Are we going to see you out anywhere else? You going to venture outside of Delaware?
Right now, we're committed with the John Arts Group and all of our companies to go and run and compete for a championship at Delaware. So we're going to run the weekly shows at Delaware, and then the last APC race at Delaware. And anything else after that, it'll be kind of a last-minute decision to go do it and see how everything goes at the end of the year. But as of right now, we're going to run the whole tour at Delaware, and then the couple APC shows when they do come into Delaware.
Most importantly, will Dana be selling any desserts at the track, or is it pre-order only?
I believe she likes pre-orders, but she'll have some around after, I'm sure. So yeah, if anybody does like desserts, and I'm telling you they're good, she'll be there, and she'll get you hooked up.
Well, Ray, appreciate you being here. Anything else you want to ask him, Adam?
No, you know what? I wanted people to get a taste of Ray. I know that anyone that goes to Delaware Speedway on a Friday is familiar with Ray. There's lots of shirts out in the grandstands. He's been to Victory Lane a couple of times, so they hear him talk. But I think people need to pay attention to this one. He's a great racer, good person, and the Morneau family, Clinton, was really, I think, the first family to get behind G-Force TV and really show us some love. So we still appreciate that, and we still remember that.
Yeah, I want to talk to Ray a bit about that. Ray, we touched upon our media day, but your star's starting to shine more. You see more and more people with your shirts. How does that pump up your tires when you're getting ready to go racing?
Oh, it's actually, I was talking to a friend today, and I told him that right now where we're at with our program and everything around us, this is the most confident I've ever been with what we're bringing to the track. And like you said, just seeing people in the stands with your shirts on, it gets you jacked up to go. It's really cool. We never really did t-shirts and that, so I never knew what that was like. But to see it, it's very cool. It gets you pumped up, especially when you're on the straightaway for driver introductions. It's gonna be pretty cool to see everybody up in the stands. It's gonna be a packed crowd, great weekend of racing. So it's gonna be cool. It'll get me all jacked up, and I think that's what we need, and see what we can do in the future.
Look forward
Right
to
on,
seeing
Ray.
you on the weekend, Ray. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, we get set
Salt
to
of
go.
the earth.
Yeah, man, great family. Don't forget Delaware, all kinds of stuff going on. Fireworks Friday night, after party Saturday, in the Oval Office beer patio. All kinds of cool stuff. Autograph sessions. You can find it all at DelawareSpeedway.com. Make sure you check that out, and we'll be down there live on Saturday. So we'll be Thursday. Spencer, I just sent you two. I didn't send them to you. I got two flyers here. I just wanted to run here for Ashweek and Humberstone, and we'll throw those up on the screen if you can grab them now. Things are wrapping up here, though. Don't forget, it is the first round of the Knights of Thunder event at Humberstone. They have a full card 5-division show. We'll be live for all that as we kick off the weekend. And then we get into Canadian Sprint Car Nationals out this weekend, plus the Action Sprint Tour Knights of Thunder events. The $10,000 win for the 360s with the 358 modifieds. There's your Thursday night Canada weekend poster. So Humberstone's running Thursday, Sunday this weekend. We'll be live on the Thursday with the Knights of Thunder 360s, the Action Sprint Tour 358 modifieds, street stocks and mod lights. They come back Sunday with the Western Region Dirt Sportsman Series, 40 lapper, late model street stocks, mini stocks, and vintage cars. Check that out. Then next night, Friday night, we will be over at Ashweekend for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Don't forget, if you're going to join the us in the pits, make sure you use the QR code or the speed waiver. Same thing you're going to need for Delaware. Different waiver, same process. And there'll be Knights of Thunder round number 2, 360s. The Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, $10K to win, plus 358 modifies. The Action Sprint Tour is actually increased purse, $2,000 to win for the crates as well. Doubled their purse on Friday night as well. So exciting weekend for us. And then we jump off to the APC. For the Maryville fans, it's coming up next here live on the channel at 9 p.m. And
What a schedule.
What a whirlwind hour it's been.
What a schedule we have, Clinton. Every weekend we get to go to top shelf events. I mean, it's been awesome, and it's going to continue to be awesome. And actually, Richard Hadler raises a good question, and I'm not sure what the answer is to it.
For which?
Pit access for the Pinty's 100.
What would you like to know?
How? I'm trying to think of what we do elsewhere. Will it be a regular pit pass? Will get you in, or do you have to be a NASCAR member for that? How does that work?
No. It's just like regular Friday night at Ashweekend. Anybody can come up, pay the pit pass money, sign the waiver, and come on in. I mean, no different than we had the World of Outlaws. That's why we've actually changed a bunch of the pit parking. I had a meeting with Glenn actually Sunday at Eastbound where we're sitting on the wall. I brought it up to him again. I drew it up this week. We will be moving all of the sprint cars off of those concrete pads. That'll be NASCAR lane right down $1 Million Row with a big stage at the end. We're planning on a big post-race party on the Monday night. We have some amazing stuff planned there. I can't wait to reveal a lot of the details here in about 2 weeks' time. We're getting quotes on big video screens, a big stage. We're planning a big concert with Derek Miller, possibly the premiere of the Friday Night Thunder series. We're talking about a G-Force live. I don't want to say nothing that stress Spencer out anymore today, but we're talking about a live post-race pit party that everybody can participate on and give you a bit of the I gotta get there feelings. And just it's going to be a great time. So we're excited about that. We expect everybody to come in and get up close to the NASCAR cars and the drivers. And I envisioned, Adam, a lot like it is at the Toronto Indy. If you go to the Toronto Indy and you walk over that bridge, you can walk right into the pit area. You can get right up close to the cars and the drivers. Same thing with CTMP. I don't see us being any different at Ashweek. And once you get inside the gate and you sign your waiver, you're going to be able to go right up to everybody.
Yep. So, no, it's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be awesome. While we're talking about your chat with Glenn Stiers, we should give a tip of the hat to the boss. He drove a hell of a race in Newfoundland.
so he
found the wall. He had no practice. That engine hasn't run right for 2 races. Got no practice up to speed. So his first laps at Speed were the start of the race. Did a great job, raced his way up towards the top 10. He was looking pretty stout.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't fading back from the pack at all. He was right with the lead pack until he got in trouble. So it was cool. Yeah, I see stickers and stuff saying they can't wait to see it. If there was ever a time you were going to camp at Osh Weekend, you're going to want to be with us from Sunday night through Tuesday night. I promise you, if you stay with us Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you won't be disappointed with the excitement and what we have. We're talking about a hauler parade. We're talking about all kinds of cool stuff for Osh Weekend. And this is the beauty of it, Adam. We're not inventing the wheel. These are great things we're learning everywhere else we're going, seeing the right way to do things. That's why I'm sucking up what Mike James and the folks at Eastbound did on the previous weekend there. Super exciting. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
I couldn't agree with you more. And who was it saying to us on George Street? They're saying next year we got to have race cars on George Street, which would be pretty darn cool.
Yeah, why aren't we doing that? Let's make that happen. Even a couple of display cars. They got some display cars. Let's get a couple teams to bring out their display cars and let all the drunks lay all over them and have fun with them. I think it'd be great.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
All right, well, let's wrap up this program a minute or two early since we were a minute or two late. I got chicken wings in the fryer that I'm going to go eat from our good friends at Pinty's and get ready to watch some trash TV.
We haven't fought in
our show. No, let's say something, Adam. We are fighting all the time. Not this year, though. We've been pretty good. We made a conscious effort not to get in each other's face. I even told Kevin Lovey's Friday last week, and I said, no matter what happens, I am not going to get mad today. And I didn't somehow Friday. I didn't let anybody get me riled up. Yeah. It was great. But I just want to say, buddy, I had a great time hanging out with you Saturday. It's very rare for us to get to just be out of our roles, be ourselves, hang out with some great NASCAR folks. What a hoot we had with a lot of the folks we were hanging out with there on Saturday night. I just thought it was great bonding experience for me being new to the series. Oh, the other thing I want to mention quickly as we're wrapping up, I thought it was super cool. And this is another thing you told me about traveling with the NASCAR. When the race got postponed to Sunday, everybody ended up at the airport at the same time, all on the same flight home. So as we're stuck waiting for a gate in Toronto to get off the plane, it was just so cool to see like a guy like Dave White, who's 2 seats ahead of me, jaw-jacking with Don Thompson Jr., who's Hall of Famer and a former series champion, talking bullshit about parts. Joe Chisholm Jr. is there cutting up jokes the whole time. It was just our four little rows. I'm sure it's going on all the way up and down the plane, but just had a great time. So thanks everybody for inviting us in. It's great to be out on the tour with such a great group of guys. And we better wrap it up because it's time to go to Merrittville. We'll see everybody Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And don't forget, we'll be back on Sunday. Oh, Sunday we're playing the Oscar race from this previous Saturday. So if you're wondering when the Sunset race from Saturday, it's going to air Sunday night after our triple header. That's it. Chicken wing time.
See you next time.
See you guys.